All right. So just a few things to start off with, ladies. So my name is Chris Russell. I'm the founder of HR Lancers. I run a company called RegTech Media here in Connecticut, and kind of been freelancing under that name for about 5 years now since I left corporate America back in 2015. And what I do basically, I do a lot of recruiting marketing consulting. I do some HR tech consulting for both job boards, HR tech vendors, particularly on the marketing side of things. And I publish a bunch of information about recruiting itself just through my own podcast, webinar series, and a bunch of other news sites out there as well. You can find everything I do at regtechmedia.com pretty much. Been in the space for a long time. They kind of call me the mad scientist of online recruiting because I'm always coming up with new ideas, and HR Lancers is definitely the latest one, and potentially has, to me, the potential to be sort of I think the biggest thing I've ever done overall. I've just been really happy with the response from the market itself since we launched it back in January, and I'm getting thank yous for creating this thing. So I feel like I've hit a nerve here as far as a resource that freelancers like you all wanted to see happen, and it's definitely been comforting to hear those responses from the market so far. So we just want to say appreciate it. Hey, there she is.
I figured it out.
All right, good job, Shauna. Awesome. But yeah, it's been a great 31st days here so far since we launched it on January 14th, and I'll start by just giving you a quick rundown, like on what's happened since then overall, just to give you a sense of sort of the momentum the site has. So in the first 30 days, about roughly over 5,000 people have visited the site overall, and we have had over 500 signups to the platform. So 500 freelancers have signed up. I think it's 525 so far. About half of those people have created actual profiles that are live and active. You can go see. Yesterday actually was our biggest day ever. We had 41 signups come onto the site overall. So definitely the momentum is still going on. And I've been pushing the site overall through my own channels at RegTech Media. I have a bunch of email lists as well. I've made the announcements out too. I've been going on other podcast shows. I was on Workology with Jessica Millamero last week. That came out. I was on Chad and Cheese this week talking about the site as well. And I'll be doing more shows over the course of the year, just trying to spread the word about who we are and what we do. Let's see here. So first of all, any questions on just the overall site itself right now? Hello, who else has joined us there? Feel free to say hello. Liz, your mic is muted, I think. Check your mic there.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, there she is.
Okay. Well, I guess I need to hang up on my phone because that's not working.
Nice.
Anyway, so I'm Liz. I'm from St. Joseph, Missouri, just north of Kansas City. So, well, I can't hear you. There. Okay. So, the question that I have is, oh, geez. Now it's gone. Well, hi. How are
tell us who you are first.
I'm Liz from St. Joseph, Missouri. So I am just now starting with hopefully HR consulting, kind of trying to find a way to get my name out there. And I actually heard about your site from HR Facebook page.
Oh, awesome.
So haven't.
Yeah, I've been on Facebook a lot.
Yeah.
So that's actually one of the reasons why I started HR Lancers, is because I belong to a bunch of Facebook recruiter groups myself, and I just kept seeing people posting, "Hey, I'm looking for a remote role in recruiting or HR, or whatever it is." And to me, there's just this huge pent-up demand right now from people like you all who want to work from home, essentially doing this stuff. And I think there's no reason you can't do it from home. And so I think this sort of remote revolution we're undergoing here is real. And I saw those people asking about this stuff, and I said, you know what, I think we need a community to help support these people find this type of work. So that was a big reason, one of the reasons why I actually ended up starting this overall. The other part too was I'm using sites like Upwork before, and just feel like they're taking too much of the money for freelancers as far as their fees and things like that overall. So I wanted to create a sort of a no cost / low cost solution around that. Also, when I think of HR Lancers, I say it's the Upwork for HR. So if people ask you about it, that's a great 3-word description of what I want the site to be overall. And it's pretty exciting first few months here on the site. So did you say you had a question there, Jennifer? Liz? We lost your audio again.
Okay, it came to me and then it's gone. I can't.
Okay.
I've been sitting here trying to think of what it was. I'm sorry. I can't
That's
remember
all right.
what it was.
So let me. Hey, Jason, are you there? I see Jason's joined us. Jason Kroll from Brady Trucking. I think he's still there. Out in Colorado, I believe. So Jason, sound up when you get a chance. Overall. So I'm going to walk through just a few things on the site itself, just to give you guys some extra context around things you can do on there. So has everyone signed up for like some of the email alerts, things like that so far? Have you been getting those? There's actually 2 types of alerts you can actually get on the homepage. I've created sort of a category version of alerts. We just use the category for the project or gig, and you can get those alerts versus if you actually go to the gig page and you do a keyword search, you can then save that keyword search as a specific email alert as well. So kind of two types there overall. The first kind, the category one's more broad, of course, versus the keyword specific stuff. If you're not signed up for the newsletter, I just created a newsletter page. It's on the footer now. You can go sign up for the newsletter itself. That'll come out every Wednesday, as long as there's content on the blog overall. I've got some badges now. So if any of you have websites, you can actually take some badges that we can actually grab the URL and put it in the chat and stick those on your own website and link to your profile, or just link to the HR Lancer site itself. Here is the, put this in the chat here. Here's a link to the badges. Let me grab the newsletter one too. So they say like find me on HR Lancer, or I'm a member, things like that. One of my kind of asks about the community is I'm only one man, so I can only reach so many amount of people. So I want the help of the community to help kind of spread the word about that we exist overall. And I think if we all kind of pitch in, we'll all benefit from just that exposure overall. So definitely throw a badge up there if you have a site. If you want to blog for us as well, I do want to get more guest posting involved, people writing, and we've done that already with a few people out there. You, Shauna, is one. If you have an idea of a blog, we can help promote you overall. We'll highlight you on the site in exchange for that blog post. So if you have a thought on employer relations, Liz, or recruiting, whatever it is, just think about it, writing something for us, and we'll promote it out there across our networks overall. All the blog posts too push out to my recruiting aggregators like recruitingheadlines.com as well. In addition to kind of being rebroadcast to all the different social media channels that we have out there. I'm also looking for, these shows themselves, I kind of want to do every couple of weeks for now, and we'll see how that goes as far as a cadence. The next show I want to do will be on, I think, March 12th. And I wanted that show to be focused on freelancer tools. So I want everyone to bring basically one tool or app they use or site that helps them do their job. And we'll kind of, that'll be the show topic for that day overall. And we'll do different topics like that over the course of time with this. I do want to ask if there's any volunteers to sort of be the note taker for some of these shows. And then kind of we'll take those notes and throw them into, create a blog post out of it overall. So if any of you want to volunteer, I'd love get you involved with just being a note taker for these community hangouts overall. Let's see here. What else is on my list? Has anyone, I know, Sean, I've hired you to do some writing already, but has anybody else applied to any job or back from anybody as far as actually getting hired?
I have. This is Jenny.
Hey, Jenny. Okay. Tell us.
Yesterday, or I guess 2 days ago, I saw the post on the HR Lancers LinkedIn page where someone was looking for someone to do some position descriptions, write an org chart for them. I reached out. We made contact. We've already got I've sent him a proposal, and we've got a conference call scheduled tomorrow to get the work started. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh, excellent. Very good. Very good.
Yeah, and it sounded like there was some potential for future work with this company as well. So
yeah. Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, I hired Shauna to do some writing for me. I've hired a couple other writers as well from the site. Alyssa Penny, she's not here, but she's down in Texas, and she is our first brand ambassador. So I've hired her to actually do outreach for me on LinkedIn and some other social media channels, inviting just HR freelancers and to come and join the site overall. So she is now part of the team. I did want to introduce her. I'm not sure if she's here or not. Alyssa, is that you at 61631 area code?
That's me.
It is.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well,
It's
say
Shauna.
what's that?
The 631 is Shauna.
Oh, it is Shauna.
Yeah, I couldn't get my computer audio working.
Oh, okay.
right
You're
now.
in. Yeah, I got 2 boxes up here. Okay, for you. All right, very good.
Yeah.
Samira has joined us. Samira, do you want to say hello? Guess not. Okay. Let's just go around the room. I guess Shauna, tell us more about you, what you do, what your background is, and give us a quick bio on yourself.
Sure. So I am brand new to freelancing following a 22-year career with an RPO company that I was recently laid off from. And so I really am looking for a little bit more of the freedom and flexibility and variety that the freelancing can offer, which also can give me an opportunity to do some B2B consulting on fixing hiring processes for companies. And then I also really find a lot of fulfillment working with job seekers, helping them with job search strategy and training along those lines. And then really have always wanted to write. So I appreciate you giving me a chance to do that without, me having much experience in that, but I just always wanted to do it. So I would really like to continue to do that as well. So kind of all over the board now.
Nice. As far as writing goes, pitch me topics. I mean, I'm always open to listening to new ideas around blog posts and stuff. Jenny, give us a little more about your background.
I've been kind of interested in the idea of freelancing for the last year or so, but what really prompted me to pursue it in earnest was in October, I was laid off from a position that I absolutely loved. I was working remotely. I was doing employee relations investigations. It was just this perfect combination of all the things I like doing. Unfortunately, it was an organizational type of downsizing situation. And I immediately took the first thing I could find in my geographical area, and it was a really poor fit. And so I was like, I really need to get serious about doing some consulting, doing freelancing, and try and build this up to a point where I can be independent and I can, be my own boss, so to speak. I've had a few experiences in the past and I really enjoyed it. And so, it's just something I want to start pursuing to eventually have it become my full-time goal, my full-time role.
Yep. Javiana, how about you? Tell us your background.
Yeah, so I am currently working for Eversource pretty sure you know who that is for.
Oh, sure, yeah.
It's a energy company, and I'm trying to get my feet wet with the consultant. I would love to just jump, but financially I can't right now.
Sure, sure.
But I am doing some consultant. I started off with I'm on a board, a local SHRM chapter for it's called HRACC. It's our central location in Connecticut, and I became the PR and marketing director. And I did such a good job they actually hired me as a consultant for specifically marketing for human resources.
Oh, nice.
And so now everybody's keep on telling me you should just do your own consulting. And I'm like, yeah, but I got to get my feet wet and doing it. So my passion, even though I'm very good at the marketing aspect for HR, my passion is DI and organizational development. So, and
Very cool.
employee engagement. So that's where I'm at now. And
Yeah.
I'm looking.
I've been to a few of those events up do you guys meet in Hartford usually?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been to
We're in. So our chapter takes care of New Haven and the Hartford area.
Okay. When's your
So
next
yep.
event?
Our next event, we have a few. So we have one. Hold on, let me get it for you. Somebody else could go next, and I can.
Yeah, throw a link in the chat there. I'll check it out.
Okay. Yep.
The next one overall. Jennifer Truesdale, tell us a little bit about yourself there. Where are you calling from? You're on, I think you're still on mute, Jennifer, so go ahead and do that. Hey, Jason, you there? No, nice. I'll just keep talking. Somebody else wants to chime in. I was going to say, so I've been working for myself essentially for the better part of 20 years now overall. So if you need any advice around, just freelancing in general, I've probably been through it overall. I spent about 2.5 years in corporate recruiting about 5 years ago, got fired, thankfully, and went back to work for myself. And it's definitely been, quite a journey on these years. I mean, I ran a job board company from 1999 to 2012 out of my house. It's kind of like a lifestyle business, 6 figures, that type of stuff. This year, actually, just last year, I finally hit 6 figures in freelance revenue overall. So I think I finally call myself now a successful freelancer in the space overall. And I have multiple revenue streams. That's one of my kind of tips overall. Is I've got, I started a bunch of sites around recruiting news. I've got some advertisers there. So I have kind of a passive stream coming in around that. I've got a couple of consulting clients I work with mainly overall. I've got some membership site for job board owners that I run as well, a little blog there. So my advice is to think about ways to make money beyond just consulting as well. Ebooks. I've got I sell ebooks to job board owners that I've written overall, and there's a great little tool as well. Courses, maybe things like that. Actually, I may be talking with, maybe creating a course around just jumping into freelancing and HR around that type of topic overall. So you guys have thoughts around what you like to sort of see in a course like that, maybe in terms of what you could learn, or kind of advice around that stuff? Anybody?
I think something I'd be interested in getting some advice about is, I've done a lot of public speaking in my region, but it's all been for free. So I'm trying to figure out how to make the transition to asking for a fee when I've been doing these speaking engagements for years.
Yeah,
for free.
Yeah, so I have I've spoken before in the past too, and I've gotten paid. I've also done free ones as well. Like if it's free, as long as it's like within driving distance, I'll go and do it. If it involves me flying out somewhere, and it's basically spending $1,000 on flight and hotel, I'm less inclined to do that overall. Just being a freelancer, I got to watch my pocketbook here. But there are a few conferences out there that do pay speakers. I'm doing one in May this year at RecruitCon. I think I forget the company that puts that on. Hold on a second. company is it's BLR. So here's the thing. So I'm speaking at this in Denver, and yeah, they're paying for basically the flight and hotel for one night overall. So I know if you're new to speaking, it's definitely there's a lot of, and most of the vendors out there they want you to speak for free essentially overall. I did get a client out of speaking at RecruitCon in Boston a couple of years ago actually. Overall, but for the most part, when I've spoken, it hasn't really resulted in that much. But I haven't spoke that much, so maybe I'm not the greatest test case around that. But there are some people now, like a Jennifer McClure, if you know her. She's been speaking for years in the space around HR stuff, and I think she only does paid gigs now at this point, right? So she's someone to look up to as far as that goes, Jenny. People like Lori Rudiman as well. I think they only do paid speaking stuff.
Yeah.
At this point in their careers, they're kind of like keynoters, and it's kind of what they do essentially. Almost, it's part of like I think Jennifer just travels and does speaking gigs all over the world, and she has a consulting business too. But it is interesting. I think it does take time overall, and being a quote unquote HR influencer is something that takes work on social media. And, something you have to kind of work at a bit overall. Just my 2 cents.
Thank you.
Yep. Anybody, Shauna or Liz, have you guys spoken before?
No, I'm not a public speaker, but I'm more behind the scenes, strategy, analysis, writing, that kind of stuff. You mentioned that you had a couple of different revenue streams as an HR freelancer. So when you talked about, putting out, kind of informational series around that, that would be interesting to me to kind of see what are all of the different options and avenues and things that you can do that probably I haven't even thought of doing. Just, different perspective or different platforms.
Yep. Is anyone going to any events coming up? I may be going to SHRM National this year. I've been thinking about going. But what else are you guys attending, if anything?
Actually, I'm sorry, this is Liz. So I was, I don't do any public speaking necessarily, or any speaking necessarily. I've done like classroom setting training. So I'm kind of got some of the nerves out of the way with that. But as far as events, I actually have been attending, it's where I'm at in St. Joseph, Missouri, it's called Cup of Joe, but most cities it's called 1 Million Cups. I don't know if you've heard of that before.
No.
But what it is a group of people every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. A group of people get together, and there's usually 1 or 2 presenters, and they're presenting their business. So what do they do? Why are they doing it? What are their struggles? What are their successes? And then after they're done with their presentation, there's usually about 5 or 10 minutes of questions or comments from the crowd. And everybody in the crowd is entrepreneurs of various backgrounds. And that I've found to be, not that, I mean, I haven't gained any clients through that yet, and I haven't spoken at that yet because I don't think I'm ready to, but it's something that is I think would be very beneficial for anybody at least to attend and get to know people. I've also been going to a lot of networking events through our local Chamber of Commerce, and I just try and find local networking events to go to at least 3 or 4 times a month.
Yeah. Have you guys been to any Disrupt HR events? Those are one of my favorites.
No, I want to though.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, there's one.
There
I go to the New
there
York
aren't
one
any
a lot.
I know there's one coming up somewhere, either in New York or Boston, maybe Boston
There's
or
one,
Rhode Island, somewhere next to us.
Yeah, on March 11th, I believe it is. It's in New York City.
Yeah, New York. Yep.
Yep. So that's coming
Yeah.
up. I thought there was a Hartford one coming out, but I haven't seen any announcements about that recently.
Yeah, I think they have one last spring. I've been to, because I'm part of SHRM, I've been to a SHRM conference just before the holidays. It was the VL voluntary, so like voluntary leader seminar. And the SHRM CEO spoke, and Johnny, what was his last name? Johnny Taylor, and he was amazing. We also have, because Connecticut is very small, we have a tri-state conference coming up with Massachusetts and Rhode Island at the Casino Mohegans.
Is that this year?
Obviously, yep, every 2 years. So we have one in March. So yeah, just I encourage anybody to be part of your SHRM chapter, because I have gotten a lot of people interested in my work through that and just being involved. And yes, a lot of it's for free, but for example, my last president, she is now going to be the state elect for SHRM for Connecticut, and she's already talking about me helping with that. So now I'm at more of a state level in a couple months. So I just encourage everyone to get involved in some type of area, especially in SHRM.
Yep. Cool. Jennifer says she's can't speak right now. She has some lymph node biopsies and her voice is messed up. So that's okay, Jennifer. Glad you could join us and listen in. And Samara says she's in the office, can't participate live, but she's listening. So she says hello on the chat there. Awesome. All right. Well, that's about all I got for today. I thought we'd just kind of have a quick meet and greet and see how everybody's doing, give a quick update on the site. And any last thoughts or questions or stuff you guys want to talk about before we leave?
Well, one other thing that I wanted to mention, also as far as events that you can attend, I recently also went to a networking event in Kansas City, but today found out that they have a similar event here in St. Joe as well. It's kind of like speed dating, but it's speed networking. I don't know if anybody's been to an event like that, but especially for people that are not comfortable just going to a networking event that is more designed where a bunch of people in the room and it's up to you to have the courage to go and talk to someone. It kind of forces you to talk to them. 4 to 5 minutes each person, take a whole stack of business cards with you and make sure you have plenty of them. It's amazing. The one I went to in Kansas City was only like 8 or 10 people, I don't remember which, but it was still a decent event even with the small group. I guess the one here in St. Joe, I think they typically have more like 20 to 30 people each group. So it's a pretty good opportunity to talk to people and let them get to know what you do and get to know what they do as well. So
I went to the Wine and Dine in New York City Tuesday, actually. It was free. I took the train in, so there was some free stuff. So I'll have to ping you next time it's out.
Okay.
Cool. All right, guys. So March 12th will be the next one. As I said, think about one tool or site or app you use that helps you do your job. And we'll get a kind of a big list together of this stuff. And I'll promote the event a lot more heavily until then. So I think we should have, we had 9 today, I think total maybe. So my goal would be to see if we can get 20 people on the call next time. So with that, I guess we'll end it today and appreciate you guys. First of all, thank you for joining HR Lancers. Appreciate the participation and keep it up. And if you have any comments, questions, suggestions, issues, let me know. My door's always open and we'll help you guys get more gigs. Okay.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you so much. Everybody have a great evening.
You're welcome. All right, guys.
You too.
thanks. Have a good day.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Take care.
Bye.